Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Kristen Smith, Pennsylvania editor for the Center Square. Joining me today is the Center Square's Pennsylvania reporter, Anthony Hennon. Pennsylvania's emergency medical services system has been on the brink of collapse for a long time now. Burnout, dwindling state support, growing elderly population, long response times, sharp rises in opioid overdoses. All of these factors mean fewer and fewer resources to deal with a bigger and bigger problem. Lives are actually lost because of this. So officials said this week that it's not surprising given the state's history of kicking these issues down the road. What do they mean by that?
Essentially, this has not been an issue that's popped out from nowhere. This has been a long-running thing. We've seen reports come out from the General Assembly about the plight of these, rural fire departments, smaller volunteer fire departments. It seems like from covering previous hearings like this, a lot of the fire chiefs and captains are in alignment with how they see the problem. From the Slatedale Fire Department captain, Dennis Weatherhold, said, "This is a problem that gets kicked down the road every time. There is never a resolution." Whitehall Township Fire Chief David Nelson said, "Our fire service is imploded already. We're past a crisis mode. All the stuff we've been talking about should have been done 10 to 15 years ago." And a lot of this is simply, rising costs, more and more difficulty in raising enough funds to cover fire necessities, and also just a drop off in not only volunteers, but also generally just enough firefighters to staff departments. Again, this is not anything that's surprising, but this is something that it seems like with every hearing, we hear testifiers get more and more emphatic about these issues. And simply, fundraising has not been enough. Fire departments will apply for grants to make up some funding here. But looking at the Emerald Star Hose Fire Company based in Lehigh County, they have a budget annually about $200,000. They get $26,000 from the township as a donation. They get another $12,000 to $15,000 in state grants, another $11,000 from firemen's relief from the state. And they have to make up the rest of this, about $150,000 just through fundraising, according to Emerald Fire Chief Tito Burgess. So there's a big hole here. And this is also when you think of preventative maintenance, when you look at fire trucks that can cost upwards of $800,000 to $1 million. There's a big financial squeeze, and it puts a lot of pressure on the remaining firefighters who respond to more calls because there's fewer firefighters to shoulder the burden here.
So what exactly do they want the state to do? What can they do to help make this better?
It seems like, there's been a few ideas thrown out there. It's not just send more money our way. They've listed some ideas on how to boost recruitment, such as offering earned income tax credits to volunteer firefighters, maybe retirement plans, tax incentives to companies that let their workers leave to respond to a call, rewards for length of service of volunteers, and also recruiting Pennsylvania residents younger, say the high school level. Of course, I think there is also some talk about trying to get boosts either on the county level, on the state level, but it's not only, just give us more money. There's also talk of possibly pushing some regionalization or consolidation so firefighters can pool resources. If you spend money on some physical aspect and you can share that, share a truck or share some extra tools among 2 or 3 fire departments rather than having each department go out to try to buy these things too. There could be gains from that.
Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Anthony Hennon, this is Kristen Smith. Please subscribe and thanks for listening.